Hey students, in English medium mathematics lessons in the local syllabus G.C.E level, we are discussing the equation lesson, students. Right, in this part, next part is students quadratic equation. Right, so I separate into parts this lesson, the quadratic equation. Right, so in this part I'll discuss with you how to solve quadratic equation using factorization method. Right, how to solve quadratic equation by using the factors, right, factorize method. So keep in touch. So first of all, I'll explain to you the definition of quadratic equation. So what is quadratic equation is, right? Let's see students, this is the general introduction of the quadratic equation. Right, see this type, ax square plus bx plus c equals 0, right? So this type of equation is called quadratic equation. Here you can see, here simply we call that this is the coefficient of x square term, right? So here you can see that a, that's right, so that is a number, that is an integer, right? So that means if you learn further, that may be a real number, so that is not equal to 0, right? So this one should not equal to 0. Coefficient of x, b, it may be 0, or the constant term, it may also be 0, but this term should not equal to 0, right? So if you write any equation in this format within square term, so that is called quadratic equation, right? Let's see some example, students, right? So this is the general one. So this one you can see 2x square minus 3x plus 4 equals 0, and you can see x square coefficient is 2, right? So that is not equal 0, so this is an quadratic equation, right? Next, another one, x square plus 5x equals 0. Now you can see here 1 2 3 terms, right? So here only 2 terms. What happened? This constant term is 0 here, right? So x square coefficient is here. What is the number? That is 1, right? So see another example, students. X square minus 9 equals 0. Only x square and 9, 2 terms only here. What is the term vanish? That is bx term. Why? Coefficient of x is b, that is 0 in here, right? So this is another example. So these all are quadratic equations. Right, now to solve, right, so to get the solution of a quadratic equation, firstly solutions, right, solution of quadratic equation. You know, students, equation has solutions, right? Solution. So in this quadratic equation has, right, see, number of solutions. We call another name for solution, that is roots, right? Roots. So number of solution of quadratic equation, you know, right? So there is a x square term. Because of that, number of solutions, number of root is 2, right? 2 solutions, right? 2 roots quadratic equation has. Right, so then method of finding solution. So what are the method you have to find solution of quadratic equation, right? So in this lesson, in equation lesson, right, in up to G.C.E O level part, local syllabus, you will learn, students, 3 methods, right? So see, first method is by factorizing, right? By factorizing method, actually when you are in grade 11 now, you have learned this method. In grade 10 we discuss how to solve quadratic equation by factorizing method. Then another second method is by completing the square method. So in completing square method, you will learn in this grade 11 another one using a formula, right? Using a formula, right? So these are the method you will learn, right? So this is last method is most common method to solve quadratic equations. Right, now this part, see students, now first method is solving quadratic equation is by factorizing, right? So this part I'll explain you how to solve quadratic equation by factorizing. So that means in grade 11 students you learn in grade 10 part. Right, now see, first of all I'll go to the general one. See, if any quadratic equation, right, see, if any quadratic equation, right, if you can arrange into this type, what is this type? So here you can see middle is product, right? This is a factor, this is another factor, right? So if you can arrange this one equals 0, right? So x plus or minus number and x plus or minus number. So if you can arrange this type, that means here product of two factors equal to 0, right? Equal to 0. What does that mean? That means to get product equals 0, here one factor, here what is one factor? X or plus minus should be equal 0, right? Without getting 0 of this factor, product is not 0, right? What is other one? X plus or minus b, that should be equal to 0, right? So to get product 0, this factor is 0 or this factor is 0, right? One should be equal to 0. So this is the result we use by factorizing method, right? So that means any quadratic equation, if you can write using this product of two factors, then equaling to this product of two factors 0, you can take the solution. So that is the method we use. What is yours? Factorize, right? So separate into two factors, right? So let's see using example, students. My first example is x minus 2 into x plus 3 equals 0, right? So you can see here this is an quadratic equation, right? So this quadratic equation I given using factors. Now here two factors, here product, that means equal to 0. That means x minus 2 should be equal to 0 or x plus 3 equal to 0, right? So this is the result we get from early, right? Now you can get the solution. What is solution? X minus 2 equal to 0 means you can take this minus 2, add it to both side, then here right side x is equal to, right? What is other solution? X plus 3 equal to 0 means you can subtract 3, then you get negative 3, right? So this is the two solution, right? So quadratic equation has two solutions. These are the two solutions, so you can check these are correct or not. X is 2, here what happened? X is 2, x is 2, 2 minus 2 0, 0 into number, if anyone 0. X is negative 3, here if you put negative 3 positive 3, that is 0. Number into 0, that is also 0, right? So these are the two solutions, two roots of this quadratic equation, right? We'll move to another example, students. Right, this is my example. X into x minus 8 equals 0. Now you can see here is the product. Here, see, here is the product. X is one factor, x minus 8 is another factor. Two factors, product of two factors, also factorized. Now what happened? This factor x should be equal to 0. Another factor x minus 8 should be equal to 0. This one 0 or this one 0, right? So then x is 0, so nothing to find. X is 0 there, right? Solution of x is 0. Now x minus 8, what happened? Add both side 8, then you get x is equal 8. So these are the two root of this quadratic equation, right? Right, let's move to another example. Example number 3, students. See, x square plus 3x equals 0, right? So this is quadratic equation. Why it is quadratic equation? X square term is there, right? Another only one term, right? Now our method is factorization. Factorize, right? Two terms, x square 3x. Factorization. First check whether is it common factor. Is it common factor there, right? What is common factor to x square and 3x? You can see x is common. So x is common, right? If you take x out from both two terms, here remain another x square mean x into x, here remain 3 into x3, right? Now already factorized. X is one factor, that should be equal to 0. X plus 3 is another factor, that should be equal to 0. This one O, this one 0, right? X is 0. Solution of x is got here. X plus 3 means you have to subtract 3 from both sides, then x is negative 3, right? So this is solution of this quadratic equation, right? Let's move to another example, student. Factorization. X square minus 9 equals 0, right? X square, this is quadratic equation. Now see, square term is there, minus is there, 9 is there. Now you can see factorization, another method. What is difference of square? 9 can write as square. What is 9 square? 3 square is 9, right? Now you can see difference of square is square. Now you can factorize. How? X plus 3 and x minus 3, this is the product, now factorize. Now one factor is minus 3 should be equal to 0, or x plus 3 equal to 0, right? So those are the two solutions, right? Now you can take x, how? Subtract 3, add 3, then x equal 3, or subtract 3, then you get x is negative 3. So those are the two solutions. Right. Now we will move another example. You can see example 5, students. This is x square plus 5x plus 6 equals 0, right? You can see this is 1 2 3 trinomial quadratic equation, right? So in this trinomial quadratic equation, you can see our method is to find solution, factorization. Now take this x square plus 5x plus 6 part, make into two factors, right? So trinomial quadratic expression, right? How to factorize? You have to write this 5x, positive 5x, as a product of two factors, remember, right? Let's see. First what you have to do, this square term and this constant term should multiply, then you get x square into 6, 6x square, that is both positive means positive 6x square. Now you have to write this one as a product, right? This one as a product of two terms. How to write? You can write product 3x into 2x, right? You can see 6, 3 into 2 6, x into x, x square, both positive. Now what happen? If you add these two terms, 3x and 2x, you should get the middle term 5x, right? Positive 3x, positive 2x. If you add 5x is already raw. This is the two terms you have to separate. Now x square is there, 5x we have to write 3x and 2x, 6 is there. Now four terms. Now what to do? Take the first two term, factorize. First two term common is x is common, x minus x plus 3 is remain. Then take the second two terms, right? So these two terms, what is common? You can see 2 is common. This one can write 2 into 3. So 2 is common, x is 3 is remain, right? So that is equal to 0. Now you can see, student, in this equation, x plus 3, right? X plus 3 is common factor, right? X plus 3 is a common factor. Now you can take x plus 3 as common, right? Then remain here, you can see x remain, here 2 remain, right? So it is equal to 0 because of equation. Now we factorize. So this is the method we want, right? Factorize product. Now 1 factor x plus 3, that should be equal to 0, or x plus 2, that should be equal to 0. So these are the two factors. Now added 3, you can subtract 3 from both sides, then you get x is negative 3. This one is also added 2, then you can remove 2 both side, then you got this type of two solutions to this quadratic equation, right? So by substituting these two, you can check whether it is correct or wrong, right? We'll move to another example, student. By factorization, see, 2 over x minus 1 plus 3 over x plus 1 equals 0. So you can see this is a quadratic equation, right? Let's see what is a quadratic equation. First, we have to form a quadratic equation, then we can factorize, then we can get the solutions, right? Roots, right? So these are actually algebraic fractions, right? So you can see addition of algebraic fraction. Student, addition of a fraction mean you have to make the denominators equal. You can see x minus 1 algebraic expression, x plus 1 algebraic expression. So these are not same, right? So how to make same? You should find the LCM of these two, then you get product of x minus 1 and x plus 2, right? So to make equal denominator, you can see 2 over x minus 1 should multiply by x plus 1 expression, both numerator denominator. Second one, 3 over x plus 1, so that should multiply by x minus 1, right hand side 1. Right, now what happened? Denominator x minus 1 into x plus 1, right? So that is a denominator. I write in one step. Here what happened? Numerator 2 should multiply by x plus 1. That means 2 multiply by x, that is 2x. 2 into 1, that is 2, right? Then this one, 3 multiply by x, that is 3x. Then 3 multiply by 1, that is negative 3. So that is equal to 1, right? Now you can simplify the numerator. How do you simplify numerator? Denominator same, 2x plus 3x, that is 5x, right? 2x plus 3x, that is 5x. So added positive 3, positive 2, negative 3. What happened? Positive 2, negative 3, different. Different mean subtract 3 minus 2, 1. Greater 1 is 3, that is negative 1, that is equal to 1, right? So this 1 actually we write here 1 over 1. You can see here. Why? This one fraction, algebraic fraction. So if you see this type, this part as a fraction, that is easy to cross multiply, right? So after this step, you have to cross multiply. So seeing this 1 as 1 over 1 is 1 over 1 means 1, right? Now cross multiply. How? 5x minus 1 should multiply by 1, right? That is one side. In right side, x minus 1 into x plus 1 should multiply by 1. Multiply by 1 is no change, right? Right, now this is equation. Now solve, right? So left hand side is no problem, but right hand side you have to remove the bracket. How to remove the bracket, students? X should multiply by x square. X should multiply by 1, that is positive x. Then by negative 1, right? You know binomial. Negative 1 into x, negative 1 into positive 1, that is negative 1. Now you can see here, left hand side, right? Here positive x, negative x, that is 0. Only remain x square minus 1, right? Now how to solve, right? So take all the term into one side, or right hand side or left hand side. So I take into right hand side, right? So I write this way, x square. Then here if you take this 5x into this side, subtract 5x both side, negative 5x. Then this negative 1 into this side, positive 1. That one negative 1, that is equal to 0. Now you can see here also numbers, positive 1, negative 1, that is 0. Only remain x square minus 5x equals 0. Now factorize. So this is the quadratic equation, right? This is quadratic equation. So to get quadratic equations is how many steps you have to solve, right? Simplify. So x square minus 5x. What is two terms? Common term. X is common. X minus 5 remain, right? Now is product. Now can solve. What is x equals 0 or x minus 5 equals 0, right? So that is x equal 5, right? So I take two solutions. Right, now coming up next part, students, I'll discuss solving quadratic equation by completing square method. That is the part in grade 11. So keep in touch with Maths Globe YouTube channel.